real with you, right? None of this is even none of our business. For real, for real. Like, he don't have to tell anybody about any of this, and I'm glad that he not responding because he don't need to. This ain't nobody's business, bro. She made it everyone's business.
Ain't never seen tears from a gangster, so why do you want me to cry?
They tried to cancel CoryxKenshin again. Look, bro, on some like real talk though, y'all need to leave this nigga alone. He is the only individual on this earth that I know that the world tried to cancel him for doing regular people things. Like, I've never seen it to where people wanted to see a nigga fall so badly before, bro. Like, real talk, I ain't never seen it before. Like, it's getting out of hand. And truth be told, a lot of it is due to these, like, to his new fan base. Like, anybody that subscribed to this nigga after his first 9-month break, right? His first 9-month break that he took, you are considered new. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have already like seen a few videos on this, not this one specifically, but I'm in the loop, so I know what's going on. You feel me? Old girl, shorty, whoever she is, all this is straight attention. I don't care what nobody says, bro. It's straight attention. We gonna hop right into it though. We ain't gonna waste no time. We got old Meezy back in the building. You know, he conserves all the information in the one good video. This is why I rock with this nigga. So let's hop right in, bro.
CoryxKenshin, but it honestly fell super. This time the internet tried to come for CoryxKenshin, but it honestly fell super flat. But it does open up a conversation about how we view celebrities, why we're so quick to label people, why we're so quick to drag people, and exactly why do people attempt to defame somebody so quick in such a hurry. For those of you who don't know, CoryxKenshin is probably one of the most beloved YouTubers on the internet. Plays video games, very cheerful, jovial guy, takes a lot of hiatuses, but for the most part, worldwide, honestly, his image is squeaky clean. Now, there has been multiple times where they've tried to cancel CoryxKenshin, but those have also fell kind of short.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Come here. Well, don't.
Now
Not too many.
This right here, I ain't gonna lie. If you try to cancel a nigga over this, you're gay. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. You gotta, if you a dude and you try to cancel this nigga over this, you gotta be like you gotta be gay. Like, that's the only explanation. If you try to cancel this nigga over this shit right here, no cap.
Because I'm coming back, so I don't need y'all flooding her schedule. Okay. Right, exactly.
He needs his spot. Period.
Come up here.
Perfect twist. Get with me.
High five.
High five.
Yeah, don't leave me hanging. There we
Okay.
That's it. That's the crime, ladies and gentlemen. A 2-second glance. And somehow, a bunch of unemployed Twitter warriors decided this was a reason to call Cory out. People started pulling accusations straight out of thin air, saying she's a minor, saying what Cory did was inappropriate.
This is a grown-ass woman, and y'all called her a minor. Grown-ass woman, and y'all trying to... Boy...
saying he made her uncomfortable.
Yeah, he was essentially getting packed up for looking at some ass, I guess. I don't even understand what's so bad about that. If it was fat, people looking. I don't know. People gonna look. And there have been some other attempts, but this time the attempt seemed to be much more serious. A Twitter user and TikTok user named PandaXXOfficial took to Twitter and took to TikTok to bash CoryxKenshin to all high hell. It was a 3-part breakdown about all the things that
old girl right there is delusional. There's some, I think there's mental, like, there is something mentally wrong with her. Like, for real. Like, she has something mentally wrong with her. Whatever emotional damage she got going on, it's all got something to do with her. She can't blame this nigga for some of the stuff that she is even going through. I ain't gonna lie to you. Despite how somebody else do you or anything wrong like that, you can feel about it, but the fact that that happened like 7 years ago. I seen it. That happened apparently like 7 years ago. Right? And now she trying to bring up that trauma, that emotional damage after 7 years. Bro up 20M in subscribers, and you trying to bring up this now? She trying to tear him down, bro. She trying to bring this man down and his reputation over stuff in the past that happened 7 years ago. What? Come on now.
Faced while being with CoryxKenshin. Part 1 was a sheer breakdown and personal showcase of hurt, betrayal, and disgust towards Cory, the realization and explanation of victimhood, explaining how hurt the manipulation felt, the trust he broke and took advantage of, and the twist of his image as a God-fearing man versus the monster she experienced that showcased apathy and used her and cheated on her, lied, and said
Hold on.
sister. Part 2 was the DM revealing and showcase.
Now, before we get to this right here, do y'all know why she's initially calling this man a monster? Do you want to know why? She's trying to call this nigga a monster, right? Because he ain't want to talk to her no more. All because he did not want to talk to her no more. I can see why he didn't want to talk to you no more.
Of him trying to get back at her a year later while openly just being a dickhead, wanting and devaluing her and throwing their history in her face as a gotcha / trying to get back in. There was also him not realizing and denying this fact and, you know, trying to use other manipulation tactics. And then there was the revelation that she had cancer and that he gave the most passive aggressive response to her saying that she had cancer. Pretty aggressive cancer, type 3, you know. And then the third and final claims were that there was an ex that stepped forward and said that she was a part of the situation. Cory ended up getting his friends to stalk the girl apparently, and a messy breakup stuff between two consenting adults that were in a relationship. And sure, there was some toxicity in there, but the thing that got a lot of people in an uproar on the internet is that they believe that CoryxKenshin was essaying the woman. I mean, they literally went out there and said that CoryxKenshin had done some of the worst things in the world to this woman and that he would be labeled a rapist or a essayer for the rest of his life. And it got so bad that the woman in question had to take to the internet to clarify his actions, to say that he did not do any of these things, and was wondering why people were saying this stuff about him. Now, because CoryxKenshin is the icon that he is, one of the more beloved internet figures who to this point has not had any real scandal about him. It's just a bunch of made up stuff. This one would seem to be one of the more damaging things, but this would not be any different than any other of the fabled content creators from the past couple years. So the internet was ready, willing, and able to run with this, except the CoryxKenshinites. It went so far as to create a Twitter account for this woman, a fake Twitter account might I add, and post stuff about her, the situation, nitpick who she is, call her a whore, and all these other names. So come morning, she had realized that she had made a mess and she had to clean it up by making a live video about what happened. She clarified the fact that she didn't cheat, that Cory never cheated, that she didn't want to cancel Cory, she just ultimately wanted an apology, and then that the screenshots look weird because they were taken off of 2 different devices, etc., etc. As you can tell by now.
Bruh, even with that though, right? She ain't never cheat. He ain't never cheat on her or nothing like that. You ain't want to cancel the man. But yeah, you posted all this on social media for the whole entire world to see. Like, in front of millions of people at that. Like, did you not think about that or consider that? And first of all, if you wanted an apology from him, I guarantee you, and I'm pretty sure you got some form of contact with him, right? Why not just talk to him directly? Why you gotta post it for your business out there for the whole world to see, publicizing all of this? Like, come on now, it's very simple what it is that you was trying to do. Like, you trying to sneak past it and all that. Like, bro, you ain't fooling nobody at all. Like, come on now, you not fooling anybody. Like, we see past the whole facade. Like, you trying to really tear my boy, you trying to tear my man's down right here, bro. I'm not gonna lie, that's lame on your part. Respectively, that is respectively lame.
Shots look weird because they were taken off of 2 different devices, etc., etc. As you can tell by now, most of this situation is a total nothing burger as far as the internet is concerned. This is just 2 people in a relationship with each other that have a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on. And we will get to holding this woman accountable because the way that she posed this was really, really, really bad. to be quite honest with you. But at the end of the day, emotional person, Cancer, felt like she was manipulated. She made a mistake, to be honest with you. Now, with Cory's name seemingly being cleared, there still was a couple of lingering things to kind of assess and walk through that he potentially needs to address in a future video, or the community needs to have serious conversations about.
Still on.
I'm still on.
Then I woke up again and it was off.
Did you watch me sleep?
Hmm?
Did you watch me sleep?
Yeah, I actually did something to you while you were asleep too.
What?
I'm sorry. I just got this fetish that I do. You know.
What?
I didn't hurt you. You're good, right?
What?
Now, despite how weird this was right here, right? Cause that part right there was a little weird. No cap. That was a weird saying right there. But we can tell, like, those of y'all obviously, you know, watching somebody versus how they are in person, two entirely different things, right? But even if you pay attention to how this nigga cracks his jokes, like in his videos and all that, that's what that is. Like, if you've seen, like, if you've been watching Cory for a long time, you know, like, that's how he plays around, like, jokes around in the scene. Like, does that make sense? Those of y'all that know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you ain't been watching him long enough. I can't explain it, but, like, that's that gamer type of, like, personality that he has. You know what I'm saying? Where he joke around like that.
Do Cory.
Don't worry about it.
Cory.
Good.
And he ain't
Cory,
even serious about it. Like,
Look, this came right in my face. I didn't do anything.
like, they both laughing and giggling about it.
He
Bro.
did
Come on
something,
now.
and I'm gonna find out on the next episode of.
Like, they joking
Where
about
you
it.
going
Come
with
on.
this?
Bacon avocado.
I dated CoryKenshin, and he hurt me.
And what is this bacon avocado shit? Like, I swear TikTok be coming up with some weird trend, like what?
Bad, and I'm not the only one.
You can kind of see now
See,
how people thought he.
that part right there, that I'm not the only one thing, you didn't have to say that. You did not have to say that.
Data, right? That's a crazy joke to make. Now, maybe not on the surface level it's too crazy, because hey, people joke like that. That's pretty dark humor. But if you add to the fact that she is the survivor of being essayed before, that does make it very distasteful. That does make it weird. That does make it out of pocket at best. I can't even defend that, to be quite honest with you. But the real question is, why was the community ready to run with such a false narrative or claim that he had essayed her? Now, it's clear to me that they are both laughing in the video, and I think CoryKenshin, of all people, would know good and doggone well enough to not admit to essaying her on camera. I could be wrong though. You know, we've fallen for these celebrities time and time again, and because the internet doesn't read, ultimately we're going to end up in a situation like today where people are jumping to conclusions left, right, and sideways. Now, do I think that she should be held accountable for the way that she had posed it? Absolutely. I know she did a pretty good job of clearing it up by saying straight up, hey, he did not essay me, but we can see how that looks. That if you wanted to convey the message that you put as the caption, you probably should have put it a different way, but you cleaned it up, so hey. But because this is the internet, people are wanting more always, and by wanting more, they want more pitchforks just as much as they want more explanation.
And that's
Please
facts right there.
read all 3 parts of what Homegirl's talking about when it comes to Cory. You guys just cannot spam the letters SA like that. I understand that there are things that she
Innocent until proven guilty.
talking about related to that, but that's not really talking about Cory. She's really exposing Cory about his verbal abuse and heavy, and I mean heavy, sociopathic and narcissistic behaviors. That's what she's really exposing him about. Don't just type the letters SA. That's that. If you read carefully those 3 parts, she's talking about how Cory is a very heavy verbal abuser and very heavy sociopath and narcissist, which is still extremely upsetting to see. I understand that people got, some skeletons in the closet, especially from Cory when he proclaims to be a Christian man. He tries to proclaim the word. Now, all people are flawed, but the one thing I wish Cory could have talked about was him being transparent about those situations instead of acting like he's a perfect human being.
So now that we've cleared up,
Now, even with that, bro never claimed to be perfect. Bro never claimed to be perfect. That's another thing at that. Like, y'all put niggas up on such a high pedestal, right? To where like they do no wrong or nothing like that. Bro ain't never claimed to be perfect. He never had a perfect image or anything like that. Now, he said something else too.
Was him being transparent about those situations.
That too. He to be real with you, right? None of this is even none of our business. For real. Like, he don't have to tell anybody about any of this, and I'm glad that he not responding because he don't need to. This ain't nobody's business, bro. She made it everyone's business.
Instead of acting like he's a perfect human being.
so now that we've cleared up the accusations that CoryxKenshin is some sort of essay or rapist, something that would easily get him packed up off of the internet, the examination is now turned into, well, is he this sociopathic, narcissist, verbal abuser that is now being laid on his jacket? Because I think that those are very heavy terms too, especially when you are then in the same TikTok questioning his Christian identity and wanting him to be, more open with you as a member of his community or a consumer of his content, which I think is a lot to ask for, but nonetheless. Out of every screenshot that I read, I don't see trying to get through manipulation. I just see a horny man doing horny man things. And sure, he might be reminiscing over old times or talking about how they were in the past or that so-and-so was a good fuck, etc., and she knew she was in a relationship or might be in some sort of relationship. I just don't classify that as some sort of manipulation tactic. I think we've learned a bunch of words on the internet and started putting them around, situations and things like that. And I think that that's wrong, especially when they're coming from somebody who is highly emotionally invested in a situation, like the person who is putting out the screenshots. And don't want to take away anything from her because she is more emotionally invested than me, you, or anybody else involved in the situation, really just consuming the information. But for us, we should probably look at this more objectively and say what is a spade and what's not a spade is probably a jack or a club or, I don't know, a heart or something else. The same thing about him belittling her cancer diagnosis. And that screenshot, it is just a one-off screenshot text message. I don't know what happened after that. I don't know what happened before that. I don't know if y'all talked on the phone. I can't say based off of that, but I do believe that was strategically used. That photograph, specifically that screenshot, was strategically used in order to invoke emotion out of us as consumers of the content.
All a woman needs today is an allegation. Zero evidence, no police reports, just a simple allegation is enough to get people who really never really rocked with you to start voicing how much they've never really rocked with you. Let's cover a couple things. Being a bad ex-boyfriend is not a crime. Being framed in someone else's mind as a manipulator is not a crime. And wanting to have schmecks with someone you've had schmecks with before is not a crime. Although all of you weirdos who don't get laid want everyone else to think so. There was no essay. He's not a terrible person for wanting to sleep with someone he slept with before, and y'all are purposely misrepresenting the situation because you are thirsty for any form of attention.
Now, OP is going pretty hard, but there is a tendency for the community to take little to no evidence posted by people who are in usually closer proximity to the person or highly emotional states and run amok with a narrative and get as far as to naming them all things, all labels, stuff that conveys heavy on this person's character and reputation, things that can honestly not only get them canceled, because I don't believe in cancel culture, but get them in some sort of legal trouble or trouble with their families that are living lives perfectly fine and, not experiencing these things in real life. The way that the internet is willing to idolize, but the same way tear down somebody with such mob-like and ravenous behavior is a perfect representation of the duality of man. I don't know what it is about our emotional states or our mental capacity for idolization of other humans that drives us to be like this, but it has to be studied. And what's more interesting is the people who all of a sudden feel as if this is the time to hop on some sort of bandwagon because it is cool. I saw so many tweets and so many pictures and videos of people that always knew that CoryKenshin was off, always knew something was wrong with him. I even saw one tweet that was like, I never heard anything bad about him, so I always knew something was wrong with him. He was never in a scandal, so there was...
I ain't gonna lie, that's some hate shit to say right there. Like, bro, wait. just because I ain't got no wrong situated around me, right? That mean I've had to do something, right? Like, that's some hate shit to say right there.
Always something wrong with him. Well, how could you even come to that conclusion? That doesn't even make any sense. This is the problem with creating a parasocial community. At some point, your real life has to be your real life. And you want to do real things as a content creator, but you can't because you're getting called out for being a bad boyfriend. And hell, let's say that there's some merit to Cory being a bad boyfriend. I don't think that he's a nasty individual for going to get his hair braided and recording it and trying to promote that woman's brand. Because why did he have to come out with an apology for getting his hair braided and staring at some fat ass?
If I do come back to get my twist redone, we can't record it. Destiny, I was trying to hit your TikTok next. I don't know if we can do that. My community, and I'm not even gonna say my community, I don't know where this started. I don't know.
And I don't think that there's any way to really keep these people in the middle. Maybe it's...
I'll tell you where it started. It's these new age subscribers that he got on his channel, bro. All these new, anybody after the break, after his first break, it's them niggas right there. I'm telling you, it is them niggas right there.
Of content you put out, maybe it's the wording that you say about certain things, the phrases that you say, etc., how often you're seen online, how often you've been in somebody's life. I haven't really narrowed it down as to how you can be a creator without creating some sort of parasocial relationship with your audience. But these are the downsides and negatives of it. And I do believe that it's a twofold conversation because content creators know what they're doing and they know how to twist and manipulate storylines or tell specific things to get people more hooked and engaged, but also there has to be some sort of mental help for these people in that big beautiful bill that Trump wrote. Look, I don't know what's gonna happen with CoryKenshin. I hope that people aren't...
All I'm gonna say is this, bro. After this bullshit right here, we are definitely not getting them 100 uploads this year. Y'all do not want that nigga to get them 100 uploads up, bro. Congratulations. I hope that y'all feel satisfied in the bullshit that y'all indulged in. And Shawty knew what she was doing too. Real talk, bro. Look, man. Moral of the story, just make sure that you got all the facts before you jump to conclusions. And I'm out, bro.
Ain't never seen tears from a gangster, so why do it want me to cry? Fighting depression, talk to them spirits, use them justice that help me get by. But I cannot lie, yeah, that shit hurt me bad when I got that call, told me you died. Like how the fuck can they take you? Man, I hope I wake up, it's a lie. Couldn't walk to that hearse, cause I remember the words and I remember the look in your eyes.